again for Titans of TV with your host, Spike Von Shadow. Hey, how's everyone doing today? I'm your host, Spike Von Shadow, and welcome to another Titans of TV. Today, it's been an interesting week, filled with tons and tons of epic craziness going on. So this week, just like every Titans, we've got 6 shows. And I'm going to be ranking them from 1 all the way to 5. 1 won't make the cut. Who will that be today? This week, we've got Dragon Ball Super, The Walking Dead, Arrow, Supernatural, Legends of Tomorrow, and because of the fact that Flash was off this week, to fill Flash's void or slot, we're going to use the Flash crossover on Supergirl. So let's get started. Let's start with the one that didn't make the cut this week. Number 6, you could say. Number 6 this week, out of all the shows, was Legends of Tomorrow. I thought Legends of Tomorrow was a good episode, but I thought everybody, and I mean every show, brought their A game this week. Every one of them stepped up to the plate and brought their best material. Except Legends of Tomorrow. This week's episode of Legends of Tomorrow picks up after it left off last week. They've got Mick Rory in this cage on the ship, and they're going after Vandal Savage in 2146. And this whole episode was about them grabbing this New Age Hitler and the struggle of, should we kill him? Should we not kill him? Will he become a killer? If we give him a second chance, will he not become a killer? And in the end, Vandal Savage still rises to power. So there wasn't really a whole lot of character development. The plot and the arc wasn't really that great. And we really didn't see anything new this week, except we found out that there are these hunters, these time hunters, that are going to be chasing them, and that's going to carry over into the next episode. So, that was number 6. Another thing. Like I said last week, and like in every Titans of TV, I grade all these shows on 3 basic things. 3 basic things. Character development, story, arc, and plot, and what new was brought to the episode this week. New gadgets, new powers, new transformations, new villains. You get the idea. Now let's get to number 5, the 5th Titan this week. Now the 5th Titan this week, I'm going to give it to the Flash. The Flash this week, the Flash Supergirl crossover. Last night, I was watching all of my shows, and I was looking at all of them, and I looked at the Flash Supergirl crossover, and it was pretty good. I'm not going to lie, okay? You guys know, and I've made this quite clear in my videos. I'm not the biggest fan of this Supergirl show. I'm really not. I think we deserve a better class of female hero than Superman's cousin. Seriously. We've got Zatanna, we've got Vixen, we've got Raven, we've got all sorts of great female heroes. But that's not the point. So, in this Flash Supergirl crossover, Barry comes to this alternate universe, or goes to this alternate Earth, which I kind of have mixed feelings on that. I really think this whole alternate Earth thing and Barry jumping to an alternate Earth was a little bit of a stretch. Like, I know that they've been doing that on the Flash, going to Earth 1 and Earth 2. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch, but at the same time, it's like, come on now. So, throughout the episode, like, Barry shows up, and the thing that I loved about the episode was the fact that there was good chemistry between Supergirl and Flash. At one point in the episode, I was like, man, Barry, like, why don't you date this chick? Like, you guys are, like, perfect for each other. I really did. I really thought their chemistry... I think that was the only really good positive thing of the whole episode. That, and they brought in Silver Banshee and Livewire. And I thought that their team up and them working together, I thought was really, really good. You know, and I give the solid episode an 8. It was good, but I think we've seen better crossovers. And especially the moment when her and him and they shake hands and they're like partners, you know, it was like this whole reminiscent of all the other crossovers. So that's number 5 this week. Now, let's get to Titan number 4. Titan number 4 this week was Arrow. I thought Arrow stepped up their game this week a little more. There's a lot more character development, a lot more going on this week. And especially the first 4 Titans, I really thought, brought their best stuff to the table. So in this episode, Malcolm Merlyn, being the bastard that he is teaming up with Andrew Diggle, which is, you know, John's brother. And, like, they're working for Hive. And, like, the whole episode was about them getting this totem back from the Arrow Cave and giving it to Damien Dark with this little jewel, and then him getting back to being magical and all superpowered and shit. So, I give this solid episode a solid 9. I thought it was one of the best of the season. You really, really, really seen a lot of character development. You really see this relationship between Diggle and Arrow, John Diggle and Arrow, their friendship grow. And at one point it was kind of hindered because Oliver knew that there was something wrong with his brother. He knew that he was leading them into traps. And Diggle didn't believe him. And then at the end of this episode, one of the biggest, probably cliffhangers, probably one of the biggest parts of the season, Laurel dies. And that's classified under new. Okay? Character development wise, we've seen a growth in a lot of the different characters. Especially, I'm loving this whole feud with Thea and Malcolm. But he's not called Malcolm anymore. They're finally diving into the comic book Malcolm Merlyn, or Merlin the Magician. So they've kind of dropped this whole Malcolm thing, and he's just Merlin the Magician. So I really think that's exciting. So that was really good. And then, you know, Laurel dying at the end of the episode was really, really big. So all in all, good episode. Now let's get to number 3. The third Titan this week was Supernatural. I really, you know, the funny thing about Supernatural is it's like this. Supernatural, for the most part, during most of its season, will do pretty good episodes. But when there's a break, when there's a season premiere, season finale, mid-season break, any kind of right before they go to break thing, they always come up big, and they did in this one. So, last time, if you remember, Crowley has escaped hell. Crowley is no longer Lustiel's bitch. Okay, Lustiel, if you haven't been watching, or if you haven't been watching my Titan show, Lustiel, it's like Castiel invited Lucifer in after he got out of the while they were in the cage, because Castiel thinks that he's the only shot that they have to beat the darkness. And in this episode, Lustiel, which that's who I'm going to call him, goes on a rampage in heaven. He goes up to heaven and pretty much talking all the mad shit in the world, like, hey, the darkness is here. Y'all can't beat him unless you got me. Meanwhile, Crowley goes out to the desert and kills a bunch of motherfuckers to get this horn of Joshua, they need one of these god weapons in order to stop the darkness. So, while all that's going on, Rowena is trying to chum up to the darkness and like, oh yeah, girl power, we need to work together. In other words, trying to save her own damn skin. So, that's going on, and the boys are trying to work, or, Sam and Dean, they're trying to work with Crowley in order to stop the darkness. And, like, there's this whole conflict going on between, like, Crowley being like, hey, we need to get rid of Lucifer first and then take out the darkness. And the boys are like, listen, Crowley, Lucifer's the best shot we got to take down the darkness. So they come up with this whole plan where they're going to trap Lucifer and then exorcise Castiel out of him. And then after they exorcise him out of him, then they're going to use the Horn of Joshua on the darkness, but it doesn't work like that. Now, before this happens, while Lucielle's up in heaven raising hell with the angels, the darkness, in her ongoing attempt throughout this whole season to find God, goes up to heaven and pretty much fills heaven with nothing but smoke. And one of the coolest things I've ever seen in this whole season was seeing like the heavens like getting dark and there was like all this thunder and lightning and stuff. It was really, really cool. So I give the solid episode, I give the episode a solid 9.5. One of the best of the season. And once again, Supernatural don't disappoint. So that did really, really good. And then at the end of the episode, the warding fails while it gets to a point where Crowley has to go inside Luciel and try to pull Lucifer out, but that don't work because, dude, this is Lucifer. So he gets kicked out, and then the warding fails, and that's kind of when all hell breaks loose. And then the darkness shows up. And once the darkness shows up, like, she's like, hey, what are you doing? And then he grabs the Horn of Joshua and tries to stop her, and then she's just kind of standing there like, and then she's like, we need to have a long, long talk. And then then she grabs him, and then they go to this one spot. I don't know where it is, but she takes him somewhere, and then she just starts torturing him. And the reason for doing that is that she thinks that by torturing God's first angel, that somehow God's going to appear. But I really don't think it's going to happen. But anyways, now, let's get to number 2. Second Titan this week goes to Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super was an incredibly amazing episode. So good. So well done. We had Vegeta versus Cade. Universe 7 Saiyan versus Universe 6 Saiyan. Now, I give the overall episode a solid 10. And I give it a 10 because it was one of the best episodes of Dragon Ball Super, and possibly, in my opinion, mind you, one of the best episodes in all of Dragon Ball. We've seen Vegeta fighting Cade, and there's so much alike. And you really seen this growth in Vegeta's character and him respecting Cade. And like, you're gonna surpass me. And like, their whole battle, it was like he was training Cade the whole time. So the episode was just really amazing, and to see Cade go Super Saiyan for the first time, and like the whole battle and their whole exchange back and forth was just brilliant. So another fantastic episode. Last week and this week has been some of the best that I've seen in Dragon Ball. Now, number 1 TV this week goes to The Walking Dead. It was number 1. The amount of character development in this episode was fucking huge. Number 2, story arc and plot. The season comes to a close. And number 3, the reason why it's Titan of TV this week is because we got the best, the greatest, and probably the most dangerous villain in all of The Walking Dead, Negan. And especially when he came on screen, I got chills. I was like, holy shit, this motherfucker's serious. He's not playing around. And he brought out Lucille, and at the end of the episode, he bashed the shit out of somebody. Now, who is that? I give this episode an 11. Now, you're going to say, Spike, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you going to give it 11? Because it was better than 10. And I am so excited for season 7. Okay? We're going to get Ezekiel and the Tiger. We're going to get the Kingdom. And stay tuned to my channel, because here in the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing another Skype with Spike, where we're going to be talking about our season 7 predictions. So, and that's Titans of TV this week. Thank you for joining me. Like, share, subscribe. Find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. My name is Spike Von Shadow, and I'll see you next time.